I have not done a video like this in quite some time, I would say, because I have not actually purchased any new equipment since everything that I have so far has been coasting pretty fine. Welcome, thank you for clicking on this video. My name is Dennis. I am in the Charlotte, North Carolina area, which is the reason of the name of this channel, Queen City. I moved here from Texas now 5 years ago, and this has been a journey through the move and setting up this new tank here behind me, setting up the Peninsula that you're familiar with, setting up this anemone tank. Once you see the results that I have produced during my time, my experience, I will talk more on how to do such things, on what my methods are, what has worked, and so on and so forth. But I know in the past there was a comment somewhere where it says, you can talk all you want, but you got to show results. And I completely agree. That made me not want to make any how-to videos or give any opinions on anything, because I agreed that I should show results before I start telling you what it is that you should do, or what I feel that you should do, what I know that works for me, so on and so forth, etc., etc. So anyways, today's video is about the Alkatronic. I have finally been able to pull the plug on this. Those that know me and that are local know that I've been actually selling corals on Facebook, and this might be new. I've been selling corals on eBay, all to be able to eventually buy this device. So for those that have purchased corals from me, thank you so much. For those that want to, I guess that's a personal plug, because there is more devices I want to get. I'll leave the links of my eBay account and on Facebook, well, you're already going to know where to go. So without further ado, I did want to talk a little bit about what I decided, why I got this device. I know that a lot of you know that I have a Trident on the tank right behind me, which is the Mega Matrix, and that is going to stay there. Now, it has been giving me some issues. I'm actually in conversations with Neptune right now to figure out what the issues are, but it does not mean that I'm going to replace it. I like the Neptune. Now, I can say that the reagents are getting pretty costly. You're talking about over $100 for a 6-month supply, so divide that by 6 months and you'll get how much you're having to pay for 6 months, which is the reason why I decided to get the Alkatronic, because not only can you use their reagent, which does cost $100, $100+ for the bottle, even though I actually got it from a different website for less, but out of that concentrated reagent you can make 5 gallons total. So that's the reason I pulled the plug on this one, and that reagent should last me over a year, hopefully, according to the reviews. There's also a DIY version that you can make, and it will significantly reduce that cost. So I'm sure a lot of you have your opinions, have your reviews, have your pros, cons about the devices you have. And today we're only really going to talk about the Alkatronic. I'm going to set it up. This will actually go into the Peninsula tank in my office, and it will test alkalinity there. Being that it's an all LPS tank, I feel that this will be perfect for that tank there, and we will go from there. So I did want to show you what comes in a box. This is quite a huge box. I mean, I honestly thought, just from the whole picture here, I thought that this is how big the device was going to be, and I was like, oh no, like I don't want it that big either. But I'm going to show you what actually comes in here. It is already open. It did actually come already open, so I don't know if I'm guessing they don't seal these boxes or something like that. All right, so let's go ahead and pop it open. There is a lot of foam, which is good because it's well protected. A lot of this you will find online already. There's a lot of videos about this, so I know it seems very obvious that I'm doing another one of those videos, but I'm gonna make it quick. You'll see what already comes in here from reviews, from websites, tells you what it comes with. So it's this unit here, and that's really what I wanted to show, is this whole box for this unit, which now I'm happy with this size. This is okay. And then it comes with the calibration reference solution, the 250 ml reagent bottle that comes in here, the power adapter, the USB cord, which I'm assuming is to maybe do updates or something like that. We'll find out. And all this other stuff. You can read it online what it is that it comes with. My purpose here is to show you how long it takes someone that has no clue how to set this up, because I've watched that Trident versus Alkatronic, and I can tell you that when it came to the Trident, I was one of the lucky ones that I was able to set mine up very quickly without an issue, and it started reading right away at readings that I was actually satisfied with. I want to say that maybe it took 30 to 45 minutes, and I've read that this can take a lot longer. And I mean, I like fiddling with things as long as everything works out as expected at the end, right? If I start getting connection issues and all that, I will get frustrated. I'm not gonna lie and sit here and tell you that I won't, but I'll try to figure it out until I can get it to work. The purpose is to really show you how long it took me to set this up, and if it's something that you're willing to do. Now, at the end of the day, remember that you will set it up only once, hopefully, and once you set it up, then it's gonna sit there on a shelf or wherever you put it to do your automatic testing. So keep that in mind, that, you know, this initial setup is not something that you have to worry about again. So I'm gonna have to put you on a time lapse, because I am gonna have to watch some videos and read the manual to make sure that I'm setting this up as accurate as possible. One of the main questions that I asked on the Focustronic group is that the directions at CoralView say that the sample line cannot be longer than 3 feet, and that to me is a problem, because that means I have to put it right next to my sump. And the other thought was to put it right over the overflow line, you know, the line that goes through there, and maybe, you know, gather the samples from there, where now the device is going to be a little bit up high, maybe at eye level. We'll see. But the Focustronic owners group did mention that you're actually able to do it up to 6 feet, as long as you do the calibration correctly once you're calibrating it, because the calibration is what it will tell the system how long it took to pull that liquid in and all that stuff, I'm assuming. If I'm wrong, my apologies. So I'm gonna have to read the manual, watch some videos so I can set this up. And the next clip here really is gonna be of a little bit of me setting it up, but I will tell you when I started, which right now it is 2:08 in the afternoon, and I will tell you when I'm done with it. All right, so here, stick with me here, and I will come back to you here in a few. All right, so it is 3:56 p.m. It's been almost 2 hours since I started this. I have a complete mess, reading instructions all here on this table. I want to make sure that I follow every single step correctly, because the last thing I want is missing something, and then I don't want to be that person, you know, go into the forum or go into CoralView and, you know, complaining about something and find out that it was user error. So I wanted to point out a few things though, because I had a question myself on whether this was first generation, second generation, and third generation. And I don't want to say that there's not been any new generations of Alkatronic, but there has been some modifications from the batch 1, batch 2, batch 3 is what they refer it to. Where batch 1, they were very noisy and there were some complaints, and they came out with a batch 2, and those that had batch 1, they sent some, you know, kits to convert it to what I assume would be a batch 2. And this, to my knowledge, I was wondering which one of those versions it was. And from reading just one, well, I guess from reading something on the tablet from the instructions, it said that the batch 3 units and on had a drain system, an emergency drain system. That drain system is this right here, where it says safety drain. And so that kind of answers my question. The draining system is literally, you could see it, the hole goes through there, and it pretty much, if this flask here were to overfill, then it goes through the edges like one of those infinity aquariums, and it will drain through that area. And it's optional, but, you know, of course, why not use it? The other thing that I've noticed is that the pH probe looks to be different than what you see on the videos from CoralView and what you see in the instructions. So I'm wondering if I've gotten an upgraded pH probe here. It seems pretty hefty, not like others that I haven't. I mean, I'm not trying to talk mess, not like the Apex one that I have, that I guess is made out of plastic or glass, which I'm assuming this is what it is here too, but it's just something about it seems hefty, and I'm wondering if it's probably because this is connected and once I disconnect it, it won't. But I can say that this looks different than what I've seen so far. So maybe something upgraded, maybe something they feel that works best, and I'm just happy to know that I'm getting the most up-to-date Alkatronic that there is. So I just wanted to point that out. I'm still in the progress of connecting this. I'll tell you exactly what it is that's kind of delaying it, because at the same time that I'm reading instructions and it's some form of ADHD or whatever the case may be, like I can't sit here for long periods of time. I lose concentration, I'll go do something else. I have to, like for example, I'm washing as well. It's Sunday, so I have to make sure that, you know, I get ready for tomorrow as well. But in that same area, I'm like also going into the office to see where am I going to put this. I do want to make a correction. Earlier I did say that the water sample line cannot be longer than 3 feet, and that is something that if you look at the Coral View videos, you'll see that they're the ones who, Carlos on that video says, you know, no longer than 3 feet. I'm assuming that's another update that's come about either through firmware or through, you know, whatever the case may be, because the instructions now do say it says 2 meters, no longer than 2 meters, which puts you at 6.5, about 6.5 feet pretty much of length, which is amazing, because that is one of the things that I was concerned about. I didn't want to put it in my sump. It's a piece of equipment that I actually would want to show off, right? So I didn't want to put it in the sump and it'd be hidden there and I can't see what the readings are and all that. So I debated of where to put it, and I'm going to show you, I'm going to take you real quick to show you where I was thinking of putting it and where the final location is going to be, because even now I'm still not sure, but I think this final one will do for now at least. So let me bring you along. All right, so I guess now you can see a little update on the tank. So initially, I had made space in here because I thought I would have to keep to the 3 feet. I took out the auto top-off tank that I had, and yes, there's a rat's nest in here. But I was going to put it towards the end and just have the reagent there and the waste container here, and it was just going to end up being the Alkatronic section. But then I thought, why not put it here on top, you know, where it shows off with the rest of this controller unit. And I was thinking of sending the line through the overflow to where it would deposit, it would withdraw the sample from. But then I was thinking, I saw some reviews where there has been some issues where it does overflow, and then there's drips coming from the unit, and the last thing I want is, being that all this is electronic, that something messes up here because of that leak. So then I was thinking, why not over here? Well, the issue is that the reagent line has to be a specific size, and this is where I'm going to keep my reagent. It has to be a specific size, and unfortunately that did not fit here. So I decided, oh, and then another option was to hang it with the hanging kit right over here. So, and that would be enough, but then I'm scared of this hitting the Alkatronic, you know, and maybe, you know, messing it up from that bump or whatever, because it's a pretty hefty door. And that would have been enough to get the sample line, but then I would have to have the reagents on the floor, which is fine. You know, I wasn't too against that. But then I came up with this. Let me bring you over to this side. And that is putting the Alkatronic on this little table and putting the reagent right below that in the waste container right below that, and running the line through the back here into the sump. So that is where I am at. So I'm going to continue moving forward here. As you can see, I've been here 2 hours already, but mainly because I just want to say this is not the Alkatronic's fault. It is my fault with deviating from the plan. I'm just focusing on this and doing other things in between, trying to plan out where I'm going to put it, cutting cords to length, and now I'm actually going to sit here and put this unit together. So again, it is 4:04. I'm actually going to put it together now, and I'll just keep you posted as far as how long it took me. All right, be back in a minute. All right, so it is now 4:49. It hasn't even been an hour. I feel like we're close. I already put everything where it needs to go. Now the part that I need to do is calibrate it and mix the solution. So I have RODI right here. I have my scale right here. I have the liquid here, and I'm gonna mix the solution, put it in here, and I'm gonna show you what I've actually done. All right, so we are finally done. It is 5:45 in the afternoon. I am finally done with setting this up. I don't think it was that bad. I mean, honestly, it's connecting some hoses and then calibrating, letting it know how many millimeters, so on and so forth. You've done it before with dosers and all that, so there's not much different here. So I've actually gotten through my first test already, and here I'm going to show you. I'm going to go ahead and turn the camera around. I'm going to show you the results, and that way you can see my whole setup anyways. So let's take a look. So here is the device. It did a test right now, and it is at 10.78. I went ahead and used the HANA alkalinity tester to actually test as well, and I am at 10.1 when it comes to this. So you are at what, 0.69 difference. Very satisfied so far. I'm gonna go ahead and do another test just to see if it's different from the 10.79, and let me bring you back to that. So it's pretty simple. This is my tablet. This is where it actually tells you 10.78, and this is where you actually will do a test for them. I figured I'd go ahead and record the noise level and then talk to you a bit while it does this test about some things that I saw different about this batch 3 versus the instructions that are online and on the document that you get online. I'm bringing in the microphone a bit close so that you can hear this. So that's the sound. I want to say that the sound is actually very obvious. I wouldn't say it's annoyingly loud, but it is definitely something that if you are in a conference call, that you'd rather maybe wait till after it's done with the test before moving forward. But no big deal. I am not the type to sit here and say that this is going to bother me, right? It's in the office. I doubt I can hear it into my bedroom. So I have a Simplicity dosing container back there that holds 3 different liquids at 2 liters each. I put the alkalinity solution, which will be Alpha Reef right here. I've put the reagent for the Alkatronic, which will hold 2 liters there. And in the future, I'm going to use that one for amino acids. So that's where we're at. I put a waste container right over there, and that's just Alpha Reef. I'll put that up later. But as you can see, this is going to be my setup. Yes, it's going to be a little bit obvious when it comes to the cords. I'll probably hide the cords under the table, but I'm not too worried about that either. So this is it. This is the Alkatronic. I've been at it since 2 o'clock. And I mean, I've actually had dinner. I've actually, you know, done a few things. So I wouldn't say that it just, I've mainly been on the whole setting up the Alkatronic. 75% of my time maybe has been, but not, you know, I've been washing, drying, folding, all the good stuff of being a homeowner. So I'll definitely, I'll say that to me, this was actually very simple. So far, so good. We'll see how the auto dosing does. Aside from that, you know, this is actually something I feel that so far it's worth having purchased, but you know, only time will tell, to be honest. So I'll definitely come back with a long-term review to let you know whether it continues to stay consistent or not. All right, so while that does the test and I give you the second results and see if it's closer to the 10.1 or similar to the 10.7, you know, and a lot of times I see people posting, well, hey, you know, the Alkatronic's off, you know, my reagents, my manual testing or my alkalinity HANA tester said it was 10.1, yet it's 10.8 on my Alkatronic, so the Alkatronic has to be wrong, right? How do we know which one is wrong or right? At the end of the day, I think, you know, I'm satisfied with that small deviation, and therefore I'm not gonna make a big deal about it. I'm so far so happy. Once he stops testing, I'll let you know what the results are, and we're gonna end the video here. It literally just got through testing. As soon as I turned around right there, it just was done. It was actually doing because it keeps let me show you. It keeps the flask with some tank water so that the pH probe can remain underwater and it, you know, doesn't end up ruining it. 10.78 as you can see, so that so far is, you know, consistent. Now I know it's not something you can count on long term, so I'll definitely make sure to make a long-term review. Honestly guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. I enjoyed making these videos and I hope you enjoy watching them. So make sure you hit the like button, make sure you leave a comment below, make sure you subscribe, make sure you share this video. Catch you on the next one.